Namaskar. What if I say you have completely misunderstood the Shivling? You have seen it in temples and probably even bowed down to it. But we don't actually know the ancient secret science it holds within. Some people directly associate the Shivling with the male and female reproductive organ. But this is very limited interpretation. The truth is, the Shivling is pointed to something far deeper than what it appears. Something beyond form, beyond shape, something that will surprise you and make you proud of our ancient knowledge of science and technology. Today, we will unravel this mystery. Stay with me till the end of this video and you will not look at the Shivling the same way. Unlike most deities in Hinduism who are shown like human-like forms, Shiv is primarily worshipped in this symbolic form, the Shivling. And this actually aligns with the deeper teachings of the Upanishads, which describe ultimate reality as formless, beyond qualities, beyond description. Now let's look at something you'd never question. Why Shivling is ellipsoidal? This shape is not random. It has no edges, no boundaries, no direction. And in Hindu traditions, shapes without edges are believed to allow energy to flow without interruption. Even in nature, if you observe closely, from microscopic structures to planets to galaxies, you will notice a pattern. This shape of ellipse form keeps appearing again and again, almost like nature prefers this shape to hold and stabilize energy. And our ancient sages did not arrive at this randomly, but through deep observation and inner experience. Now let's go a layer deeper. The Shivling is not just a single piece. It has three parts. The base, often hidden or embedded, the middle section, and the top round portion, the part we worship. These three are traditionally associated with the Trimurti: Brahma, creation; Vishnu, preservation; Shiva, transformation. So, in one form, you are seeing the entire cycle of existence: creation, sustenance, dissolution. And then there is the base, with a channel where water flows out during rituals. Now, most people will see this as just a ritual practice. But look closer. It represents continuous movement, the idea that energy in the universe is never static, always flowing, always transforming. If we go even deeper into this, there's also a geometric way to understand it. The upward form of the Shivling is associated with consciousness, the masculine principle. The base represents energy, the feminine principle. In sacred geometry, these are symbolized as triangle, one pointing upward, the other pointing downward. And when they come together, they form the Shatkon, a six-pointed star. This represents the union of opposites, the idea that all creation happens when these two forces come into balance. Our ancient temples were not just the place of worship. They were designed as energy space. Every element, the structure, the darkness of the inner chamber, the silence, the echo, everything was intentional. The Shivling was placed at the center, not as a decoration, but as a focal point of awareness. Even the ritual starts to look different when you see them this way. Now, why pour water continuously? It's not just the devotion. Water has stabilizing and cooling quality. Symbolically, it represents surrender, letting go, dissolving the ego. Why walk around? That we call pradakshina. It's not just the tradition, it's a way of aligning yourself with that center. Now, coming to science. Everything around us is made of atoms. Inside an atom, you have proton, electron, and neutrons. Ancient sages did not use these terms like proton, electron, or neutron. Instead, they described reality using symbolic language. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, and Shakti. Some interpretation draw a parallel like this. Brahma, the creator, can be seen like the electron, constantly in motion, creating interactions. Vishnu, the preserver, like the proton, providing stability at the center. Shiva, the transformer, like the neutron, neutral yet essential for balance. And Shakti as the energy that powers the entire system. This shows how sages use symbolic language to express deep patterns of reality. Also, in an atom, stability depends on balance. When proton and neutron are held together properly, the atom remains balanced or stable. But if that balance is disturbed, a huge amount of energy can be released. In similar way, Shiva is often seen as calm, still, and perfectly balanced, a state of complete stability. But when that balance is disturbed, the same energy can become intensely powerful, even destructive. This is where forms like Kali come in. Not as something separate, but as a different expression of the same energy, Shakti. When in harmony, it sustains creation. When disturbed, it can transform or even destroy. That is why Shiva is also known as destroyer. The energy that binds particles together, what modern science calls valency, was referred to Renuka in ancient texts, some more than 5,000 years ago. In symbolic terms, this energy was associated with Shakti, the dynamic force that surrounds and completes Shiva. Just like energy determines how atoms bond and interact, Shakti is the very force that drives creation itself. And this is why, in many traditions, Shakti is not seen as separate from Shiva, but as something that is always with him, around him, and completing him. Even ancient texts describe Shiva in a fascinating way. They say he is smaller than the smallest and greater than the greatest, which sounds almost like modern science describes reality, from subatomic particle to the vast universe. So next time when you look at the Shivling, don't just see a structure, see what science it's pointing towards. It represents the source of creation, the balance of forces, the stillness behind all movement, the union of opposites, and the possibility of inner transformation. And maybe the Shivling was never meant to show you God, but to point you towards something you can only experience yourself. If this made you think differently, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy exploring these different layers, or different deeper layers of ancient knowledge, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Tattvadarshi. Namaskar.